Hey there, friends and enemies. JoPaWrites here once again, and today I wanted to bring you a Destiny 2 video. This one is going to be a little bit different than what I normally post. It's going to be me talking about the Destiny 2 developer update about rewards. If you enjoy the video, hit that like button. If you want to see more from me, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. It does help me out, and it actually lets you stay informed as I post Destiny videos fairly frequently. I'm going to jump into it, and we're going to touch on a couple things. One, I'm going to go over the actual update, everything that's involved in it, some other things we've seen with Destiny the last couple days, announcements and whatnot. And then I'm going to tell you all my thoughts on why I think this kind of puts to bed, finally, once and for all, the debate of should we have full Rise of Iron like DLC multiple 2 times a year, maybe a bigger Taken King Forsaken level DLC 1 time a year versus the seasonal model that we have now. And with these updates, why the seasonal model is probably just going to get better and better from here. So first off, we're going to go over the developer update given by Joe Blackburn. He just returned to Bungie recently, which a lot of folks know him from raid design earlier in D1. So that was a big move. First and foremost, everyone was excited for that when he did return. But so they talked about introducing infusion caps and how they spent a lot of time on this development, streamlining all of the assets in the game in order to make it more flexible, make them be able to react quicker than they had been in the past. That meant we lost a bunch of content, and that meant that Beyond Light shipped with less rewards, less weapons overall than we might have seen otherwise. Now, personally, I'm very excited about Beyond Light's weapons because of the quality, not the quantity, right? As Joe mentions in this blog, the new perks are outstanding, whether it's on the regular weapons like Chain Reaction, whether it's on the raid weapons like Reconstruction. Those perks are very, very good. The exotics, very, very good. The new subclasses, obviously, very good. So the quality we got was there, 100%. Raid weapons are probably the best we've seen in some time. The ground loot is good. Again, new perks have been outstanding. Again, I know a lot of people are frustrated with not a lot of guns in the arsenal, so you're going to see a lot of the same things over and over again. And that's what they go over. They're trying to introduce more of the weapons that we saw before. So they said the initial reward pool with the release was too small. It's frustrating to be playing Destiny and see another player using a weapon that is no longer obtainable in a game. So that's why they're going to change that. And the TLDR is each season of year 4 will grow the overall power ecosystem with weapons. Very few exceptions. All weapons you can take to the power cap should still be earnable in game. Future annual releases will contain more new weapons to collect than Beyond Light or Shadowkeep. Obviously, that's good news, and I think that kind of shows the flexibility they'll have going forward. So, Season 13 is going to be the first chance for them to prove the commitment to growing the overall power ecosystem. They're adding 6 new legendary weapons to ritual activities, 2 each for strikes, Gambit, and Crucible. Amazing. That's what people have been asking for. Things to chase within each playlist to give you a reason to go in there. Okay. In addition, Nightfall Strikes are getting 3 unique weapons, the Palindrome, the Swarm, and Shadow Price, all making their Destiny 2 debuts. If you're brave enough to take on Grandmaster Nightfalls, you will also be able to earn adept versions of these weapons. Finally, something for Grandmaster Nightfall players, folks who complete those, to chase other than just getting your standard enhancement materials as well as your title that you get. But again, once you've gotten that, not a lot of reason to chase. This gives a reason to chase, and hopefully that's something they update continuously over time. Maybe not every season, but every few seasons we get something new. So they said that they added season 10 and 11 weapons to World Drop Pool and removed season 9. Now going forward, they're going to have season 11 and 12 weapons in the Whirlpool. Season 10 will be obtainable through a more prescriptive source. So that means it's not going to be just a random drop. You can chase those weapons if you really want them, but since they're going to be sunset, they're not going to be in the random loot pool, which is good, I think, in my opinion, because you don't want to get something that's just about to expire and will not be usable in a lot of activities. So they don't plan on adding methods for obtaining holiday weapons like Braytech Werewolf. Understandable. But in Season 13, this is something I've seen a lot of questions on. They will be adding Fellwinter's Lie, Whisperer of the Worm, and Outbreak Perfected to the exotic kiosk. So those of you who missed that, you will be able to obtain those weapons as well. Quality and quantity, this is where they talk about what I said. A lot of the weapons and armor and everything they've released recently has been top tier, which I really like. Thresh, Chain Reaction, Reconstruction, Recombination, all those are very, very good perks. The legendary weapons in general feel really good. So that's nice. The total count of weapons is lower than they want. They've kind of made light of that quite a bit. And they're adding members to the rewards team. Again, that's going to take time, they say, but that's good. I'm glad they're hiring. The more folks they have working on this in the long run, the better it'll be, the more weapons they can get into the system, which is good. So on top of that, they're not ready to talk about concrete plans, but they're going to say that a big chunk of the team will be taking time off, but then announcements for Destiny 2 Year 4. So Transmog is coming Season 14. So not 13, but 14, so we know when it's dropping. We're going to see all of the details on that in the lead up to Season 14. DDoS protection for consoles, Season 13. That's big. After the changes today that we saw for higher FPS, higher FOV on console, only big moves. We love to see it. Then we've got Volta Glass Raid returns. We've got crossplay is definitively coming in 2021. Another huge update. I am so excited for crossplay. Being able to play and raid with players, no matter the platform, is absolutely amazing. We'll see how they handle PvP, but I'm imagining it's going to be an opt-in, opt-out system, maybe matching controller versus mouse and keyboard. Maybe, I don't know how they're going to do that. They've already added some additional anti-cheat features, so hopefully they increase that as well. Legendary and Master Lost Sector rotation will be expanded to include Lost Sectors on the Moon in Season 13, and there will be 3 new pieces of exotic armor to chase as well. All of those are huge wins for the game, in my opinion. I'm very excited to see it. So the work in progress screens that they showed, so make sure you hit that link. I have it down below if you want to read the entire thing and see the screens for the transmog, because they did post those as well. Now, that's kind of summarizing everything that they went over. A lot of good news. The quicker they can react to things. I know this season might not have been what folks have been used to with Beyond Light, right? I thought it was very well done. We got Europa back. We got Cosmodrome. We need more activities on the Cosmodrome. But we got the raid, which was, I thought, very good. We got the weapons and armor and everything like that. Everything was quality, just not enough quantity. That's kind of for my sake. I'm glad that they've delivered on the quality at least, right? Now, some things that we've seen that kind of lead me to believe that there's no way we go back to a DLC model ever. They've already announced the next 3 years that's not going to happen. So I don't think it makes sense ever. And the reason for that is we got the Prophecy Dungeon last season. That would literally never happen in a DLC. If we just had a DLC drop, you're not getting the Prophecy Dungeon outside of the main DLC release, right? In Destiny 1, most people forget, Taken King had such a huge gap between its release and then the next actual content, not updates, not changes to weapons and stuff, but actual full updates as far as vendor refresh, as far as new activities, all that kind of stuff, that I do believe people forget that. They just remember the good times of those. Now we have content throughout the year. Yes, some of it isn't as good as we would want it to be. Some of it is not going to be as... Not everything is going to be a dungeon. Not everything is going to be a raid. Not everything is going to be any activity. There's going to be casual activities. There's going to be fun, challenging activities. But at the end of the day, this regular source of content has kept Destiny going for this long. I don't see that ever changing, and I think when you look at it as they're able to drop 2 new strikes next season, that's something we would have never seen in the past. That's something they would not do if they didn't have the seasonal model, in my opinion. Then we're going to have another raid in the middle of the year. Again, we would not have that unless we had another DLC. Yes, it's a reprise raid from D1 and Vault of Glass, but it's still a new raid to D2 that a lot of players who never played D1 never got a chance to experience. So, and it's probably going to be changed some. That is why I feel like this argument loses steam, because the seasonal model, yes, it's more costly for players, but we get so much more out of it and over the course of a year, if you break it down, that it's not even comparable. It's like night and day. Yes, you get more in one chunk for the DLC, but those were once a year things. Rise of Iron and Taken King a year apart, and then there was nothing in between. And that's why I don't think it'll ever change. That's why I don't think it should change. I hope they improve upon the seasonal model, but I'm pretty it's pretty likely to happen at this point, in my opinion. From what I've seen in this developer update, from what I've seen, full crossplay coming, the update to the PS5 and Xbox Series X, all of these things would be much more difficult if it was not a seasonal rotation, in my opinion. So, let me know what you think of everything down below. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you enjoyed the content, everything that I've put out today. Let me know what you guys think. I love conversations around Destiny. It's one of my favorite games to talk about, just because it's such a unique situation with it being the only looter shooter that's had this level of success for this period of time. You know, it's almost MMO-like in how long it's lasted. So, again, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you do, like, comment, subscribe, all that kind of good stuff. My name is JoPaWrites. I hope you enjoyed. I'll catch y'all later.